369. Tzaddik Dalet on top, 3 lines to the end of the page. Okay, the Alter Rebbe is explaining that there's a big difference. He's explaining the greatness of the neshama. By the neshama, it says, Chelek Yaakov, Chel Hashem Amay. That a neshama is a part of Hashem. Okay? And he explained, what does it mean a neshama is a part of Hashem? Unlike all creations in the world that Hashem created with speech, neshama was created by blowing. Correct? And we learned speech is external, blowing is internal, you're blowing out the essence. Therefore, the neshama, only the neshama, it said, Chelek Hashem Amay. Everything else in the world was created. Vayom Elokim, 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 which is the limitation of Hashem. Neshama is Mamash Chelek Elokam Imal Mamash. Okay? So he says now like this. This is Chassidus 101 of the Sfiras. Ubiro Inyan, the explanation of all this is Kamaim Elio, like Elio, he says in Pasach Elio, Antu Apikas Hasis Tikunin. You brought forth, meaning you Hashem.
I come down and
go over there. Go in the ladies' shul where you belong. You bring out the 10 garments. The Karina Lane Asas Sfirin, and you call them 10 Sfiris. This is all, by the way, Paschal. The men say this Friday afternoon before Mincha. You brought out 10 garments. You call them the 10 attributes. Huh?
Women don't have to say.
They could if they want. I rarely see women saying Ayudum Paschal. Gaya Hakachainik. Go over there. So the 10 tikkunim, they call them the 10 sfiras to run the world with, steaming the hidden worlds, and then he eventually says, and the revealed worlds. Okay, so then he continues like this. Next page. And chakim v'lei b'chochmei yediyah. We're telling Hashem, you are wise, but not with our known level of wisdom. And he's going to explain what this means. And Maven, you have Bina. V'lei b'bina yediyah. Over there in Pasach Leo, by the way, is where he says Chesed is the right hand and Gvur is the left hand, and the Tiferes is the body, and then you have the right foot and the left foot, right? The chart of the Spheres. That's basically, I think, the origin of it. So he goes through the 10 Spheres of the person, of Elokus. And he says like this, V'chol ha'yud Spheres, all 10 Spheres of Hashem, Chabad, and the 7 Midas, Nechlelas v'nememes b'shem Havaya Baruch Hu, is included and attributed to in the name of Yud Kei Vav Kei. That means Yud Kei Vav Kei represents all 10 attributes. What does that mean? And he goes through each one. Yud, the letter Yud, what's a Yud? Yud basically is a dot. A very tiny, the smallest letter, right? It's a dot. Which is Nekuda Levad, which is just a dot. Meramedes l'chochmasa yizbarich alludes to the level of Hashem's chochma, which is Helen v'Hester, hidden and concealed. Kedim shabal l'bchinas ispashtus, before it comes into a manifestation. V'gilu yasaga v'avana, before you understand it. Okay, let me explain this in simple English, which we learned many, many times in different places in Chassidus. Okay? Chochma and Bina are the 2 intellectual levels. Okay? Chochma is translated in English as wisdom, knowledge. Okay. What is Chochma? Chochma is 2 words. Koyach ma. That is the ches and the chof, you switch around. Koyach ma means it's a power of what is it? Nothingness. Ma means v'nachnu ma, we are nothing. Chochma is just in a practical level. You're learning something, you're walking in the street, all of a sudden you get a brainstorm. You get a flash, like a light bulb goes off. That is Chochma. There's no wisdom, there's no understanding, there's nothing yet. Okay? All there is this flash of a brainstorm. It's not understood yet, and therefore it's really concealed. It's hidden. It's the potential of coming into Bina and understanding it. But Chochmah itself, he says, is Nukudas Adat, which is a level of Helen Vehester concealment. Kredim Shabbat Lidei his Pashtus, before it comes into spreading itself out manifestation, in a level of Gili Hasaga Vavana, which is the level of Bina. Okay, and then he's going to explain soon what the level of Bina is. He just says in the parentheses, Va'kreitz Sha'al Hayud, and this is important for later to understand. You know the letters in the Torah have crowns on them? Yeah. Okay. So the crown on top of the Yud is Chochmah, right? So the crown on top of the Yud represents a level higher than wisdom. What is that? That's the level of Ratzon HaElyon, the will of above, Shelamayla Mayla Mimadregas B'chinas Chochmah Ilo, which is even higher than wisdom. In a person, because everything we have is because that's the way it is in Alukus, right? The actual internal faculties of the person, of intellect and emotions, Seichel and Midas, Chochmah, Bin and Das, and the 7 emotional attributes, are all the internal levels. For instance, where's Chochmah? In the brain. That's the highest part of the body. Okay? Then it goes down into the Midas, which are in the heart. Right hand, left hand, the heart. Then you have the right foot and the left foot. So the whole body of the person, which is where the person begins and ends, so to speak, are the 10 attributes of Hashem. But then you have a level higher than Chochmah. What's higher than Chochmah? Willpower. And therefore we know will is very strong. The Gemara says, La'ilam yomad adam b'makom sheli b'reitzer chafis. There's 2 versions. A person should always learn in the place they want to learn. Because if you want it, the chokhmah and the faculties work much better. Right? Now, therefore, what's the level of willpower? Willpower is not intellectual level. It's above the intellectual level. That's the level of the crown on the head, which we call Keser. But it's the Ratzon HaElyon, it's the level of the will of Hashem that's on top of the letter. That is represented with the crown on top of the letter, meaning a level higher than Chochmah, which is crown, and the crown itself has 2 levels, Ratzon and Tainuk. Okay. Now, Ba'acha Shabbat Lebchinas is Pashtus, and after this brainstorm, this dot, so to speak, comes to a level of his Pashtus Vigilui Asaga V'Avana, when it comes into an understanding in a more tangible, revealed way, Nechlalas V'Nemezes Ba'es Hey, okay, it's alluded to in the letter Hey, Sheyeshla B'chinas his Pashtus L'Rechev. A Hey has a width and a length. It's not like a Yud, which is a dot. There's a length and a width. The width of the Hey represents the understanding. This is Bina. And I'll explain in a second. Also the length. Meaning, the Hey has a length and a width. So the Hey represents the top, the horizontal part, the top part, represents the understanding in a broad fashion. And the legs of the Hey is the way this understanding comes down into feelings. It doesn't stay in intellect, it comes down to create the midas of the person. Okay, so the Rebbe says like this. He says in Pasuk Leo, you brought out 10 tikkunim, you called them 10 attributes, and that's the way you run the world. So he says the first level is Chochmah, which is Koyach Ma, like power of nothingness. That's Chochmah, which is a brainstorm. There's no understanding yet, there's no feeling yet, there's nothing. Therefore, it's still really in a hidden world. Then when it comes out into understanding, now you understand it, then it becomes more revealed, still in a hidden way, because intellect is hidden from another person. Feelings, an emotional person is emotional, so everybody can see if they're angry, not angry, whatever. Intellect is still hidden. But within the realm of intellect, you have hidden of hidden, which is Chokhmah, and the revealed of the hidden, which is Bina, which already has a broader understanding to it.
Is Bina has an effect on the emotion already or not yet?
No, one second. It definitely does. Bina is the mother.
How is it Bina in
Understanding. Chokhmah Bina Das is translating the wisdom, understanding, and knowledge. Now, but it's not really what we call wisdom in the secular world. Wisdom is not the level of Chokhmah. To understand this concept, this is the male and the female. The father and mother is called Chokhmah and Bina. Chokhmah is the father, Bina is the mother. Okay? When there's a unity of Chokhmah and Bina, you create children. What are the children? The midas, the emotions. Okay? So what's he saying? That the name Yud Kei Vav Kei includes all 10 spheres. So he says, how? So he starts, meanwhile, he just did Yud and Hey. He didn't do Vav and the Hey yet. Yud is a dot that represents the level of Chokhmah, wisdom, which is a brainstorm. It's not tangible yet. It's completely concealed even to you. You don't got it yet because you don't understand it yet. Then it comes into understanding. Yeah. What does Bina do? Bina takes the dot of Chokhmah and expands it to a level of understanding. That's what Bina means, understanding. If you understand it properly. Okay. Therefore, as Alter Rebbe said in Parag Gimel and throughout all over the place, Chokhmah and Bina is father and mother. Yud is Chokhmah, Hey is Bina. Therefore, in Hebrew, Yud is masculine, Hey is feminine. We learned this already. What is the father and the mother? The father gives what's called the tipa, the sperm, the seed, the drop, as it says in the Mishnah, putrid drop. Yeah, that drop potentially has the entire baby in it. Right? That seed has the whole potential of the baby in it, but there's no understanding. There's nothing yet. Okay, the mother Bina takes this seed and broadens it with a width and a depth and bringing it down in 9 months, and therefore they create a baby. So what does Bina do? Bina can't do anything without Chokhmah. So the Chokhmah is the masculine, and therefore, like we said many times, Ish is spelled Aleph Yud Shin. Ish is Aleph Shin Hey, because Hey is feminine in Hebrew. Yud is masculine, because masculine is a level of Chokhmah, and feminine is a level of Bina. Okay, now the Rebbe is going to continue. Let me first say it outside. Then you have son and daughter. Right? Father, mother, son, daughter. Now, what's the son? An extension of the father. What's a vav? An extension of the yud. Yud is a little thing. You extend it down, but vav is also masculine. In Hebrew, vav is masculine. Hey, the second hey, represents the girl, feminine, which is the daughter. Okay, and now the Rebbe is going to say, when you have Chokhmah and Bina, right, in Chokhmah and Bina, then you give birth to children which are the midas. So Bina is actually Ema Banim Smecha. Bina is the mother of the midas. What do you mean, mother? She reveals the midah. She doesn't create the midah. It's exactly like a child. They don't create the midah, they reveal the midah. The midah is concealed.
I don't understand what you can say reveals the midah.
Huh?
Bina this anger or reveals? How does it do that?
Because if I understand that you did something wrong to me, I'm going to get angry at you. If I understand that you did something good for me, I'm going to like you. That's Avanira.
So they create a feeling.
Chassidus explains the midah is not, the midah is a midah, a feeling. They reveal the feeling. Okay, this is not for now. That's another place. Chassidus says, Seichel is meiled midas, means it reveals the midas. They don't create the midah. The midah is there in the nefesh anyway. The nefesh has 10 levels. So the nefesh has midas. It's just that they reveal it. They stimulate it. They reveal it to make it happen. Okay? So he says like this. V'achakach then, close to the middle of the page. V'achakach, shenimshachas hamshocha v'ashpazu yosel lamata. When this intellectual understanding comes even lower than Bina, la'alma disgalion, then it comes into the revealed worlds. Meaning like this, Chachma and Bina are still in the hidden worlds. You don't see, you're looking at somebody, you don't see the Chachma and Bina. The Midas you see, because they're emotional. So therefore, if it comes into the revealed worlds, that's when it comes into the Midas. Ukmei Adam, Shareitza legalis chachmasi lacherim, aidei diburi al derech mashu. If a person wants to reveal to somebody else an intellectual concept, then he does it through speech. For instance, nechleles v'nemezes hamshacha zu be'esis vavei, and that's the vavei, which are the midas. So the Alter Rebbe is explaining that all of the spheres, all 10 spheres, are included in the name of Yud Kei Vav Kei. Yud is Chochma, Hey is Bina, the mother, Vav are the 6 spheres of Chesed, Gvur, and Tiferes, Netzach, Chod, Yesod, which are the givers, and the last Hey again is feminine, the receiver. In childbearing, the husband gives, the wife receives. So that's, again, the mashpia is Chochma and the 6 spheres, and the Mekabel is Bina, which receives from Chochma, but even though it only receives from Chochma, it makes Chochma understood. Right? Without Bina, the Chochma is worthless. Why is it? He says like this, Ki Avav, the letter Vav, Meira alam shocha momayla lamata, represents the coming down of Elokus from higher to lower. V'gam, not only that, how does the Hamshacha come through? Aidei midas chazdei v'tuvei, through the attribute of chesed, or goodness, v'sham mideis v'kadeshis, and all the other spheres, hanechlelas b'derech klal, which is generally speaking 6, of l'cha Hashem agdula v'agvura v'ateferes v'netzach v'ahoid, kichel is yesod, whatever, until l'cha Hashem ha'mamlacha, but not including l'cha Hashem ha'mamlacha. That's the 7th sphere. In other words, just like Seichel, by the way, is divided into 2, Chochma and Bina, the Midas are divided into 2, which are the 6 spheres, which is called Zah, Ze'er Anpin, and the level of Malchus. Now, somebody can ask, what happened to Das over here?
Waiting to hear.
Waiting to hear. So, B'chlal, there's a rule in Chassidus, when you count Teferes, you don't count Das. When you count Das, you don't count Teferes. When you count Das, you don't count Teferes, you count Teferes, because Teferes and Das is all the middle thing, which, okay. Das is not really Seichel. Das is not really Seichel. Why isn't Das Seichel? The Alter Rebbe explained in Perek Gimel, Das is not intellectual. Das is binding yourself to the subject matter, to become one with it. That's what Alter Rebbe said at the end of Paragim. Vadas Moshin is Kashrus, Vahod Yom No Yodas Chava. And he says, because in order to create real feelings that last, real feelings, some chassidic says, Alter Rebbe means that last, Kiyam Amiti, you need the level of Das. That means you become one with the subject matter. You know, a lot of times you hear something, you get excited, and an hour later it's dead. Why did it die? Because you didn't bind yourself. That's what Das is. So Das is not really Seichel. Das is more of the subjectiveness, becoming one and binding yourself to the subject matter that you're learning, that you become one with it. So Das is not like Chochmah and Bina, which is Seichel. Das is what makes the Midas exist. Because when you really feel it, in other words, okay, in simple English, a lot of times I know something's wrong, but I'll do it anyway. Like everybody else. But when you feel something is wrong, then you don't do it. So Rashi, in at the beginning of Achremes, Rashi says, there's an analogy of a sick person. The doctor came into him, because Hashem said to Aaron, after the Torah said, after Aaron's 2 children died, for coming when they shouldn't have gone in, Hashem says, don't go whenever you want into the... So Rashi explains, why is God saying it after the 2 children died? Why is the Torah emphasizing that? So Rashi gives an analogy that Chassidus uses a lot. There's a mashal v'chela, a sick person. The doctor came into him and said, listen, you're very sick. Don't eat this food, because if you eat it, you're going to die. Okay, so the person knows it's wrong, but you know what? He'll either eat it or not eat it. But if he had a relative that died from eating that food, and the doctor says to him, don't eat that food because then you'll die like your friend did. You know, a doctor can tell somebody don't smoke, yeah? But if somebody had a relative that died from lung cancer, then it's a whole different story when you talk to them. And that's what Das is. Das is feeling the subject matter, that you become one with it. So therefore, Das is not actually, it's part of Seichel, but it's not really the intellectual...
The word is internalizing?
Internalizing it, binding yourself to it.
But it's like internalizing, becoming...
What if Adam Yodas Chava?
Right.
He bound himself to Chava. Connecting, binding. You can know something, but you're not connected to it. It's, you know, Masafa al Chutz. It's
knowing is not doing. Knowing is doing.
What?
Knowing is not doing. Knowing is knowing. Doing is another thing.
But when you know, you feel it, then you're going to do it in a different way, completely. Yeah. And your midah is going to be a real midah, because the love of it then, because you're bound with it, is going to be a real love, a real fear, a real whatever it is. That's why Das is not always counted in the father-mother giving birth to midas, because the father and mother give birth to midas. But if you want the midas to last, then you need the level of Das. To bind yourself, you feel it, and then you become one with it. You still here?
Yes,
Oh, gosh. Put earplugs in. Okay. And he says like this, Ki midas malchusi yizbarech, the attribute of malchus, that's called Dvar Hashem. In other words, like this. Bereshit bara Elokim, yeah, b'chochmasa. Hashem created the world b'chochma. But then it went into the 6 days of creation. First day was Chesed, second day Gvura, Tefez, Netzach, Yisod, yeah? But how did that midah of Chesed become tangible that it created light? Or how did the attribute of Gvura become tangible that it created the heaven that split? That's through the level of speech. That's what Malchus does. Malchus is the level of speech. Like it said, B'dvar Melech Shultin, a king ruled with speech, and that is Nechleles v'nemezes b'eisei achreinu shel Shem Havaya. That is the Hey of Hashem's name. Okay? So in other words, like this. Yod is Chachma, Hey is Bina. Vav are the 6 Midas. Hey is Malchus, which is a level of speech. Which is, like he just said, how do you reveal intellectual things to somebody else? Through speech. So speech is the vehicle and the pipe, so to speak, to reveal it to a lower level, to another person.
So Malchut is speech?
Malchus is speech, amongst many other things. Because the pasuk said, "Devar Melech Shiltein," king controls with speech, right? So Malchus is actually the level that reveals the midas down to a lower level. How did Hashem reveal the midah of Chesed that He revealed on the first day that He should create light? Is through Vayomer Elokim, through the level of speech. If Hashem didn't speak, revealing the attribute of Chesed wouldn't have created light, because it would have still been abstract, it would have been remote, it would have been up there, it wouldn't have been in a practical level. So that's,
Doesn't speech reveal machshava?
Speech,
Not, you said because emotions are revealed. You can see the person is angry. Happy.
Is machshava seichel?
No, machshava is thoughts.
Okay. You can think stupid things too.
And you can say stupid things.
Right.
Too.
Right.
Never utter anything.
Okay. But it means like this. Say
Nobody knows what you think unless
okay.
you speak. Right?
Well, let me ask you a question. You have a feeling, love or hate to somebody. Yeah? How do you reveal it? So you could either think about them, right? You can speak to them, or you can do something. Kiss them, bring them a present.
You can look at them, you can
Okay.
You can do.
So that's machshava, dibur, and maisa are the 3 garments that reveal intellect and emotions.
Oh, the machshava is also a guy. Okay.
Machshava is a garment. Okay, somebody knows something, or somebody loves somebody, right? They know intellectual concept. Yeah, but when they're cooking dinner, they're not thinking about that intellectual concept. It's in the brain, but they're not revealing it, correct? How do you reveal that intellectual concept or a feeling? A person loves their family, yeah? Sometimes. You love the family. So you don't, it's not all, you're not thinking about your family all day. So the feeling is there, but how do you reveal it? So when you think about it, whether it's intellect or emotions, you reveal it to yourself. Because nobody knows what I'm thinking. I'm revealing that love or intellectual concept to myself. You say it, you reveal to somebody else. Right? You do an action, you're revealing it into something else. Whether it's an action, a kiss, buying something, looking, whatever it may be. So, Machshava Dibur Maisa is actually the 3 garments. They're not part of the 10 spheres. The 10 spheres are intellect and feelings. That's what they are. The garments, as the Alter Rebbe calls them in the 3rd parak, the garments of thought, speech, and action is what reveals the seichel and midas. You could reveal to yourself through thought, you could reveal to somebody else by talking, and you could reveal it into something by writing it.
What if your thought and your speech don't
What?